Hello, everyone. Welcome to Arbitrage Trade Analytics. I am Royce Wells. Happy New Year. With the new year, it's coming a whole bunch of new stuff. We are releasing a brand new version of our website, along with brand new versions of all of our major indicators. Today's seminar is going to be highlighting a lot of the new functionality that's in the different versions of the systems, as well as the differences between the old version and the new version and what you can expect to see, and also detailing what's going end of life. So if you're still using some of the older indicators, they will be going end of life as we roll out the new ones into production coming within the next month and a half. We're also excited to announce that we will be having trade automation. Some of the beta users will start actually playing with that almost immediately after this seminar. But don't worry, if you are not in the beta program, you should have it probably at the latest Monday or Tuesday of next week. With any luck, sooner than that, hopefully we find no bugs between now and then. So first off, I'm going to clear my screen, remove some of these indicators, and show you what we're doing here. All right. So first thing that we did in the new version of Arbitrage is we have updated the arbitrage band indicator itself. A lot of people ask me going into the system, it's like, okay, which band, which time frame? I don't know, right? So basically, we're trying to clear that up for you guys by basically locking you within a time frame. So no matter what time frame that you're on, you're seeing what you want to see to make sure that you stay in the trade that you are trying to monitor and manage without missing things, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is turn on version 12 of the arbitrage band indicator. I'm currently sitting on the daily time frame, but you notice there's a little bitty apocalypse band. That little bitty apocalypse band actually belongs to the minute chart. So I'm going to show you what we did under here. There is a show MTZ, which basically says multi-time frame, which means I'm locked on the apocalypse band, and basically I get to pick which time frame that apocalypse band is working on. So if I'm more of a 15-minute player, I can literally see what's happening on the apocalypse band on the 15-minute chart while sitting on the daily chart. So it literally lets me bring forward what I'm seeing without missing what I'm seeing longer term or shorter term. If I want to see, for example, on the daily, I can either turn that off and it now defaults back to the apocalypse band that's actually belongs to the daily, or I can say, okay, I only want to watch the one that's on the 15 and I don't care where I am or what I'm looking at. No matter which time frame I'm on, it's locked on the 15-minute time frame to keep my trade in focus. So that means when I'm going to set alerts, my alerts are always set to whichever time frame I lock myself within. Also, some of the differences and changes that we added to the apocalypse band this time is we allowed you to basically actually show only deflections. And if you want to see deflections and danger zones, that basically gives yourself a bigger range to see both basically where it should deflect and where the possible danger zone might be. These are small changes for the people who aren't really using this version, because basically the arbitrage band indicator is one of our more advanced indicators, which means it takes a little practice to get used to. But if you are using it, basically these are really nice to have in here. We did leave the go dark option on. So if your screen is a darker screen, or you have it in black, your indicators invert, so that way you can see it in dark or light. We did leave show exits on and show deviations, but that's about pretty much all that we've changed on the apocalypse band. The apocalypse band now does scale all the way up to the infinity band if you guys are wanting to see the band that's one bigger than the apocalypse band, and you can once again lock it on any time frame that you want. So I always say use the biggest band on the smallest time frame. So typically I'd be using like an infinity band on the 1 minute if I'm trying to do a scalp or a longer term trade. Like for example, this trade on Tesla, which spanned it from the 23rd all the way to the 28th. There was some down, then back on the 29th, got back in and was able to ride. Because we can control which band we're looking at and which band we're deciding to trade on, it saves us a whole lot of headache of switching between multiple screens, trying to figure out what we're going to use and how we're going to use it. With the new indicators also come the same alerts. So basically, if you like the alerts that were, you get to keep them. The candle colors also remain the same, so nothing new there. Like I said, the only thing different in this is the ability to lock the band on whichever time frame you prefer. All right. I'm going to switch this guy off and go back to our more simpler mode, which now, because we can lock time frames, that means we can also lock time frames on every other indicator that we are using. SR is the only thing that's slightly different because you can literally show them all at the same time. If you're used to the old SR, which basically were the 3 lines, and basically we said to advance, so we'd see I had 3 pink lines. And if you're doing longer term trades, you can see over to the right, we have the Apocalypse Band pink line. It's just getting on this. So on the 1 minute chart, we're just beginning a new downtrend. On the 5 minute chart, we're still above that line, so we're still in a sustained uptrend. And on the 15 minute, we're still in a sustained uptrend. We can see that. But what we wanted to illustrate in this move was some of the things that we got from Atlas. A lot of people said, okay, well, I'm turning on Atlas 2 or 3 times so I can see the overarching trend, right? So with SR, this version 2.0, we allowed you to say, okay, whichever band you're watching, and if you're looking at, for example, the 1 minute advance and it's set to that pink fuchsia line, you can see the 1 minute chart change and see the uptrend and also see when it changes on the smallest time frame, as well as we continue adding. If I wanted to see the 5 minute, I could see the 5 minute also overlap. So basically for people who are needing more confirmations, for example, the 1 minute and the 5 minute turning green. Yes, okay, he turned green here, he turned green there. All right, let's ride. First one turned red. If I'm trying to be cautious, I leave. I see them both turn green again. I'm back in the trade. It basically, I'm trying to solidify our interests and our exits so that way we are following the trend and we are getting confirmations on that trend often. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is basically add one more because I want to see what's going on with the 15 minute. I like seeing overarching trends and basically longer term trends agreeing with me. So as long as we're above that 15-minute line, if you had the OSR, you know that we should be playing up if we're above that pink line. And basically there was some up and down, but as long as we stayed above, we're still in an uptrend. For those people who need 3 confirmations, we have 3 bands. Basically, if they're all green, you should only be playing up. You see any red, take your leave. You see they turn back green, all of them turn back green again. Oh, great, get back in. Any of them turn red, get back out. Just that simple. And because this is also showing 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, it doesn't matter which time frame I'm on. If I want to see a zoom in of what's going on here, I can go to the 1 minute chart. And it's literally the exact same bands, but the only thing I have are more candles that make up what's going on there. So I can literally be as granular on the 1 minute as I want to be, or as far away and still be able to see the longer term trend if I went up to the, for example, 2 hour time frame. There we go. It's down there. Only thing happens is the chart shrink because basically you get less candles, which means the same action has to happen within less candles. So you have the ability to see longer term, shorter term, or midterm if you want. Longer term players, like for example, if you guys want to play on the daily time frame, we're trying to make this more like a weather forecast. You know which way you're trading because the wind is blowing that way. With SR 2.0, it allows you to literally turn on all of the different time frames if you want to see those atlas-like color changes on all the different time frames, so you have an overall forecast of what's going on. So on the daily forecast, you see that pretty much Tesla, for the most part, among all things, has been holding support. It had a little bit of down in March and April, but for the most part has just been going up. Some of them turned red, but the longer term trend, as long as the long term trend was green, we were playing up. So right now it's sitting on support. Life is good. So we're expecting nothing but good things from this guy so far. So far, if we see it take a dive, basically you will literally watch every single one of these bands turn red one by one as it gets there. So for example, when we were in that red over there, where we had some red, notice these guys turn red on the 1 to 5 to 15 to 30 minute, but it seemed to have held the 1 hour time frame and stayed green. So the 1 hour was still saying, no, we're still in an uptrend. These lower time frames went red, but we are still good, right? So SR gives us the ability to watch all the trends on all the time frames if that's what we want to see. We also have the ability to turn off the line. So say, for example, you're not interested in the lines, you're just interested in the colors, because as long as they're green, we're in. As long as they're not red, we're in. So we get to watch these guys very closely or not as closely and just basically play the trend. It's green, it's green. Stop watching the line, sure, if that's what you want to do. In addition to this, we've done some changes as well with Atlas. Atlas is going to be version 12.0. This version is still in beta because we're still adding and subtracting things just like these other versions of the indicator. Atlas 11.0 basically got rid of the band because we moved that band over to SR. We also got rid of the range. And because we got rid of the range, that means on SR, for example, if I'm watching the 1.515, and I know some people, once again, they turn on multiple versions of the Atlas and get their screen pretty cluttered with things, right? And they're wanting to say, okay, where is it going to turn around? Where is that bend at? Where is it going to be different, right? So basically, we've given you the ability. There was another indicator that was at a higher level of membership that we gave you, we threw in because we felt you needed that. So that way you can see as much on your screen without basically losing track of everything else. If you hit the show 3D option, that means basically show 3 deviations, which means this band that you see here, the smallest cloud, is what's going on the 1 minute time frame. The candles typically have to stay with this smaller cloud, has to stay within this larger cloud, and this larger cloud has to stay within this biggest cloud, and that biggest cloud makes up the 15-minute chart. So on the 15-minute chart, Tesla basically ran into a wall around 10:15 on December 31st, and because of that wall, it had to fall and pull back down to make more room. That's why things never just go go straight up. They typically have to basically go sideways then up, or down then sideways then up. But basically, they're dancing within probability to make sure that we don't violate any of the rules of math. Period. Right. So we're watching this guy, and we're are able to see where the turnarounds are. So if we're playing a downtrend, we see it went all red, but we also see that it got to the edge of the range. Guess what? It's time to go. Something else that helps us with that, show Z. So say, for example, I said show Z. Z is on whichever time frame I'm currently on, right? So basically, we left Atlas alone. We didn't make Atlas traverse multiple time frames. It's you can make it show on multiple time frames if you choose to, but you do not have to. So for example, if I'm looking at the 15-minute chart and I have show Z, it's only looking for Z's on the 15-minute chart. If I'm someone who likes to play on the 1 minute chart or make sure I don't miss the Z's that's happening on the 1 minute chart, I can literally just set it to 1 minute, and then all of a sudden the Z's that I wasn't seeing I'm able to see from the 1 minute chart to let me know, hey, yeah, there's a top, there's a bottom. Like I said, we're turning on as much information or things to make it where your chart never has to change. You never have to leave. You never have to look around. You just got to get it set up to what you want your settings to be, and then play in that comfort zone and stay in that comfort zone, set your alerts, and just make your money and make your profit. Inside of Atlas also, you do have the ability to do show windows. If you hit show windows is based on whichever band that you're using. So is show top bot and show high and lows and lower highs and all of these guys. So for example, if I were to go to the daily time frame, I'm going to go the opposite way that we are playing right now, and say I'm looking for a longer term highs and lows. I'm sitting on the 15-minute time frame. If I say show highs, show lows, it should literally tell me, oh, okay, there were some lows right here, and it told me that we should expect some more up. There were some highs right here. Basically, we should expect more downs. Basically, it tries to inform us where it saw on the daily time frame, because if we moved up to the daily time frame, for example, it literally tries to beat us over the head to make sure that we don't miss a higher high or a lower high. All right. So these guys are literally here so that way we don't miss them. So we know when there's a turnaround coming, so we don't miss them. Even being set at the 15-minute chart, we're able to see them to see that basically once they stop, you go back up. So being able to see them also helps us to make sure that we're playing if it's a long game that we're trying to play, we don't miss that the higher high is happening on the lower time frame, even on the higher time frame, even though we're set to the lower time frame. Okay, so there is a lot of new things that are in the indicators to basically keep us in the game and playing and making sure that we are always winning. Because I'm set at the higher time frame, it will also show me when I'm running to a lot of support. So these are my lower lows and lower highs. It's saying, yeah, we're getting some red, but we shouldn't be able to get much more, because on the higher time frame, it's literally beating us over the head saying, this is a higher low. This is not the low. This is a higher low. So this is a 15-minute chart. You roughly get, I want to say like, I don't know, on a daily chart, I want to say 26 or so candles that let you know that that lets you know what's going on in the trade on that particular day. So basically, it literally almost 26 times lets you know on the 15-minute chart, if you're playing at the 15-minute chart, there's a higher low here. If you're playing on a 2-hour chart, you get fewer because your time frame basically expanded. You're covering more, so you get fewer, right? But it's literally there to let you know that what's happening on the daily should not be ignored. You have the ability to literally pick what time frame you want to play on and make sure you don't miss the signals that are important to you on that time frame. We did in this version of Atlas, we took away the trend lines. We took away the multi-time frame highs and lows, because you can do that with SR now. So you can literally see those with SR, so you don't need that additional information that was in the previous version of Atlas. This allowed us to expand on what we can add to Atlas. We have a whole bunch of new tools that are coming within like the next 3 to 5 weeks that's just literally should blow you guys' minds away. In addition, Z Pro. So for people who are sitting at the intermediate level and people who are sitting at the novice level, basically as we upgrade our indicators and we add more functionality for our higher paying customers, we don't just throw away the information that we have. We pass that information on to the lower tier members. So that way you guys get the benefit of some of the tools that they've been playing with, and they get to help us play with the new and improved tools. So with the new version of Z Pro, you guys will actually get the ability to do a show combo, which means if you already have Z, You should be able to, with the new Z Pro indicator, you should be able to do, for example, right now I have nothing turned on for my Z, right? So my Z basically is a Z score that we use to measure the bands, right? So say, for example, I like to play really, really short time frames. So I want to play basically spot, money, scalp, and compass. Those are like the four smallest bands within the system. You can either say, okay, I'm going to turn all of those on, or I just want it to be a single line, which I can set an alert on. If I hit show combo, it allows me to combine those four smaller time frames into a line, so that way I know basically I got 3 to 4 opinions on if I should be in this trade or not. So that way it's not just one thing saying it's time to go. If everybody's saying we're back in and we're going up, guess what? We're back in and we're going up. If I'm seeing these higher highs, I'd probably say, okay, don't marry this trend because I'm seeing higher highs and that's happening on the daily. So get my money, be swift with this trade. I like to have the additional information that basically I want all the warning signs. I want all of the things. So that way, getting in the trade, I get all my confirmations, getting out of the trade equally. I want confirmations, right? So the other thing that came to this for the people who are at the novice level, because I don't want you missing information, right? The new version of or Z Pro, this version of Z Pro also has MTZ, which basically says, just like we're able to look at everything from 1 minute all the way to 1 week, I can literally say, you know what? Remember how I say I always want to know what's going on my lowest time frame because that's where everything happens first, right? So if I set that to 1 minute and infinity, I have the overall overarching. So even if I turn all these guys off, I can leave it on. But even if I turn all these off and just literally set it to the 1 minute infinity, no matter which time frame, because it's an MTZ, it lets me know this is what's going on the 1 minute chart. On the 1 minute chart, the largest number of samples is saying we're going up. So I should be playing up. The moment I see that it's no longer happy with that and it's going down, I let it go. And basically, if it's going down, I'm going down. I'm trying to always play with the longer term prevailing trend. And the infinity indicator on the 1 minute chart is my biggest and greatest litmus to let me know what's going on longer term for the last, like, I want to say 2 to 3 days. And in this case on Tesla, this is, this spans a whole lot. So basically from the 30th, this was a 2-day window, and this is 2 days worth of money. And went in, came back out, said roughly get out right there, and we'd have our money and be gone. So yeah, I really love this new version of all the indicators to be able to give you guys the power to control what you're looking at, set your alerts based on that, and stick with that. Something else that I'm going to show you guys, we have a new version of the website that is going to be coming and rolling forward, like I said, within the next week or so. But I'm going to show you guys some of the stuff that's under the covers, right? So under the covers, we have basically that same SR filter, and you have the ability to say, for example, if you're trying to find something that's in a buy for the Forex market, there are 52 different pairs that are currently in a buy on the 15-minute chart that are basically above that pink line. And you can literally narrow it down, keep narrowing it down, and say, okay, it's above the 5, and it'll keep narrowing until you get to where you want it to be. So basically, of that, only 26, say show all 50, all these guys, if you're playing them, you should be making nothing but money because all these guys should be going up if you're playing in that time window, right? We've added to our Wall Street page, we added a whole bunch of new and exciting things. We actually even added a blog, right? So let's see. One second. Oh, I see. Sorry, it's still in beta, so it may be running just a little bit slow. Also, besides the stock market, we're now also monitoring forecasts for pairs. So of all the pairs that are in the Forex market, over 60% of them are bullish, which means 9 times out of 10, if you're playing a stock, right now the bulls are winning. So you should be playing up on almost all the Forex pairs right now, both short term, longer term, and current short term and longer term. These guys are all saying, hey, we're bullish, we're bullish, we're bullish. If you're playing down, you're probably getting hurt, right? We've added the ability to see things, and we've also added the same information that's on, like, say, for example, AUD/USD, for example, right? I like to play with this guy. We have our charts that come from TradingView. We also have basically that same SR information to basically get you into the trade if you're looking to play it fast on the 1-minute chart, or you're looking for something that's more consistent across the longer time frames. You have that ability. So the same Z-scores that you had that let you know if you were running out of probability, those have been added to the menu on the Forex pairs main page. The band, it lets you know if the bands are ready to be traded, and also lets you know if SR is ready to be traded. So that way you can make a very good decision on where you should be in the trade. I'm going to show you a good example of that. I was looking at this recently, and I think that this was the pair where Gbp Jpy, I think across the board, it's saying, yeah, buy, buy, buy. If you're playing Gbp Jpy, all it's saying is buy at this point. So we're watching it. We're trying to see what's going on. I think Brexit just announced and is officially completed. So I think going into this next week, we should see a lot of movement on the GBP pairs. We have updated our educational section as well. Guess what? Education has moved. We have actually gone. This is our second website. The education has been split off from the main page, right? And with it being split off from the main page, you can actually see, for example, seminars for when teachers and whatnot are planning to teach. So that way you can join their session. If they're there, the teachers, you guys have the ability to log in and set your schedules, log in, put your links, have your links. If, for example, you're sharing on your YouTube page, put those links out there so that way people can see it directly from here so you get more hits. We're trying to make sure that our teachers are also getting the absolute best benefits from some of the stuff that we're offering. Also, there are 1-point lessons. These are basically like for anything that I've explained, if I haven't explained it well enough, there are quick YouTube videos that you guys will be able to look at and better understand the indicators with. We've been working really, really hard to basically find a way to stay with you guys and give you guys what you need. Some people are visual learners. Some people want videos. Some people even want to be able to say, you know what? I keep seeing LDZ. What's LDZ? LDZ is for our lower danger zones, right? So basically we created a glossary with all of our nomenclature. So if there's anything that you don't understand, you can literally narrow it down by searching for it, right? So like literally anything, right? I type in compass. Only things that have compass in there, it will talk about it and be able to give you information so that way you see and are able to do things with it, right? We are, like I said, new year, new us. Let's do this and make this year great for everyone, right? We're here to make money. All right. So, all right, we're about 30 minutes in, and now I'm going to switch back. So I'm showing the indicators. Now let's go see what's out there to trade. All right. Switching gears. All right. Let's see what's going on. Going up to the top. All right. And let me set myself to my settings, because these, once again, the settings that I like to play with. And I am typically set there. Okay. So now I'm set to the 15-minute. I'm set myself to the 15-minute. I set my SR, and typically I do have on my 1, my 5, and my 15 turned on. I have my Z set to MTZ 1 minute infinity. So that way it doesn't matter which time frame I'm on. I'm paying attention to what's happening on that 1 minute chart to make sure that I'm always with the trend. So currently on the silver is starting a new downtrend. And we see that, and we see that red. Unless it gets back up into the green, the day traders, you guys who are playing currently, we do see that the 15-minute, basically anything below 26.23 confirms a longer-term downtrend. These lines are very close together, so I'm expecting, forecast-wise, I'm expecting to see us trespass under here. I'm really hoping that we don't get a Z or any of these dollar signs, because dollar signs usually mean that's the end of the trend. Because I'm set to the advanced band, that means I'm expecting those dollar signs means that the bigger band is running out of room, and it will force me to turn back around. So I'm looking at this. I want to see down. I don't want to see dollar signs. I don't want to see Z's. I don't want to see, I don't want to see dollar signs. I don't want to see Z's. If I see any of those are not good things for me. If I'm trying to play down, because that means I have to change direction, and I'm okay with changing direction if that's what I need to do. But if I'm trying to play down, yeah, I don't want to see him. The dollar. Let's look at the dollar. The dollar has been getting crushed, and we see that the dollar has been getting crushed. Basically, on the 29th, it took a sharp turn. We see basically that it was red and it turned, it was green and it turned red. And basically, we fell underneath that 15-minute marker. And once all the lines were underneath there, it just kept on falling and kept on falling. I think it was Seneca. I want to say it was Seneca. It was either Seneca or Abdul. They were looking at the weekly arbitrage on the dollar. And let me get there. So if I turn my band back on, I'm going to show you what they were seeing, so that way we all get to see that. That's the other thing with Atlas, because the band is gone. We can basically, if you like to basically trade almost naked chart, you have that ability too, right? Because you can see that there, right? Notice also the infinity on the 1 minute chart does in fact draw on the weekly, so we can see what's going on overall. So it had a nice pull up that week, that strong week, where it basically got to 91, 92 on November. It pulled and it showed us that, right? So we are able to see, no matter which time frame we're on, which way we're supposed to be going, because once again, 3 weeks ago, it said the dollar was going back down on December 14th. All we had to do was listen to it and continue playing down. It's down and it's drifting. We got some dollar signs here, which basically tell me we should be getting some turnaround on here. But I'm watching, I want to say, I'm not sure. I'm going to try to basically make it match what I think I saw. And if one of those guys are online and did see a trespass, yes, that's what I saw. They were looking at the apocalypse band on the weekly time frame, and they saw it going down, and they saw that it broke under, and they were expecting more down from here on the weekly time frame because of that, right? Okay, that was Seneca. All right, I'm not crazy, right? That's so crazy. I'm watching everything, right? So I'm seeing this, but I'm honestly thinking it's going to basically break back up because of these dollar signs of the advanced band and pull itself back up, or at least come back up to test that 91.41 area before we possibly get what you're looking for, Seneca. And that's me basically watching this, because the dollar right now, like we have the inauguration, we have the final vote for the presidency, the verification of votes. A lot of stuff is going on with the dollar. Brexit is basically over, so all the countries are going to have new rules to trade under. As soon as the market opens, it's going to be volatility all over, and I hope you guys are ready to catch that, right? So like I said, I don't like missing anything. So with my settings set as they currently are, I'm trying to make sure that I catch everything and don't miss anything. in my trading. The new version, I want to say, let me see, I think it was level. I want to say it was level. We'll see. I think it was level. I added Infinity, I want to say, to that version as well. No, I have not added to that version on this version on this account. But the new version of Level also will have an infinity band. Like I said, every single indicator that was on the novice plan has been upgraded to have and include the newer and better tools and the multi-time frame tools. The people who are sitting at the intermediate, you guys got a little bit more in the tools that you had. So basically all of your tools got upgraded. So like TSB, Omega, Control, Sustain, all those indicators also got a little bit of a facelift and a little bit of a color change because we had to upgrade them to version 4 of the Pine editor script because version 3 is soon to go end of life for TradingView. So we wind up upgrading almost all of those scripts. All right. So going back, talking about USD MXN. This is tacos. We were on tacos. We were on the daily time frame. So let me go back to the daily because I want to see the daily apocalypse because that's what I have on. This is what we were seeing, right? So basically from all the way up here, we started playing this guy down. What I missed in this little adventure was this little dollar sign. So basically, since about 21 something, I've been long this guy. And basically, I stacked at these dollar signs, expecting it to go back up. But this was literally almost 44,000 pips from where I got in all the way down to where we are. Why do I think it's going to turn here? Because this is what we call a mean reversion. Those same deviations that basically govern math is governing what we're seeing. We went out of bounds on the apocalypse band. And basically, anytime you go out of bounds, you always make a beeline to your center line, and then you decide if you're going to break under it or break back over it. Oh, I did do this. Okay. Yes. The new version of Level also has the ability to lock in the different time frames, but also has the ability to, will also have the infinity band as well. So the intermediate level guys, you guys will get the multi-time level as well as infinity. The novice people will just get the multi-time frame, not the infinity level. It's a slight difference, but it is a difference. And we're basically trying to keep everybody on the same page and winning as consistently with as few indicators as possible. While many indicators are great, if you can do it with 3 or less, please don't crowd your screen. Find the 3 that basically give you your confirmations as easy as possible so that way you don't have to go looking for what you're trying to do, right? So I want to make sure that you guys are always winning. You're always winning consistently without having to chase after trends, right? So for example, this is, if I was looking at the daily RSI, no matter what time frame I'm on, Level has the ability to basically your view will not change on all the indicators. Literally, you can be on a 1 minute, you can be on a 2 hour. Your chart should look exactly the same. The only thing will look different about them is how far you're zoomed into the candles or zoomed out of the candles, right? So for this guy, once again, USD MXN, I'm expecting him to bounce. And that's because I'm seeing, one, the level is there. If I had this guy set, I want to see the infinity on the 1 minute get back above that line. Until it gets back above that line, I'm not going to add to my position on this guy. Level is already above on the, and it's set to the 15 minute. And I probably have to add a little bit there to basically so it shows 15 minute. But basically, until this guy is above the line, I'm not trading this guy up. So this is my Z is the most important indicator if you're not using SR. SR gives you more confirmation. Z basically tells you if it's trending more or less, and then basically level is for confirmation of the trend, so that way you're not the last one to know on whichever one you're using. USD JPY has had a horrendous 2020, like most of us. And the bad thing is, or the worst thing is, at the scale that we're currently looking at, on the 1 minute chart, basically you literally see the 1 minute chart hit a Z on the daily time frame. And it's like, nope, we're not getting over the compass in line. We're going back down. And that's exactly what it did, right? So having your settings set where you make your decisions is very, very important. We're watching this guy. I'm expecting more down. I'm not expecting more up. So I'm expecting that's the way he's been trending. That's the way I'm expecting him to continue to trend going into this week. I'm not expecting USD JPY to recover. All right. This is USD CAD. We're going down once again. 1 minute, basically hit dollar signs, didn't hit a Z, but once again, we're underneath. On the daily time frame, all we're seeing is down, so all we're playing is down. I want you guys to basically see this and know it to be true when you're getting a trade, because basically I want your confidence in the indicators to be there so that way you can make the money you deserve to make, right? This is AUD USD, and we're sitting here. Let's see where he's at. So basically, he has held support all the way from that fall, all the way up. So until he actually breaks under here, somewhere around 74, 75 cents. I mean, basically, he almost has to give up 200 pips before we can expect a downtrend that's going to be more longer term. And until that, no long-term downtrend is in place. So the 1 minute chart still says we're down. The 15-minute chart, so the arbitrage band on the 15-minute chart is saying, yeah, we've just been going up since November. And that's all you had to do was play up. We haven't crossed that level to say we're going back under. So we're still just going up, and life is still good for us. All right. So let's see, make sure I don't have any questions. Nope, no questions. Okay, good. Going into XAU USD, that is gold, right? Gold has been doing great things and playing well with us, right? So we had some support here, and basically my forecast for gold is still up. Notice that guy literally from the 4th of December roughly forward, he's been trying to basically pick himself up and scoop himself up. So he's above the compass line. So we're still going. We're still good. I'm still expecting more up for gold. The only thing that has me a little, I will expect a little bit of a pullback, and that's only because Infinity on the 1 minute is saying, hey, we poked out for a second, so we might have a correction candle at the open, but I'm still expecting more up because basically he hasn't gone out for long. So longer term, we're just trying to make sure that we stay with the longer term trend. It's still an uptrend, even going out of bounds, it's still an uptrend. I'm going to basically double emphasize this by going to Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been a beast recently. If you guys played it, great, kudos. If you guys were literally just using the 15-minute chart, somewhere around October 21st, let me show you this, right? Somewhere around October 21st, on a daily, he had just literally, he was sitting at $11,798. You would have made 200% on your money if you were just following the level on that time frame, right? If you were following Z, let's say basically I'd say instead of setting it to there, I'd say I set it to advance. So that way we get a little bit more history. I'd use fewer samples, so that way we get a little bit more history on where we get in and get out. Oh, it's set to the 1 minute. That's why. All right. So let me go to, for example, the 15-minute. Just trying to give you guys an overall feel of how these guys work and how you're should be able to just set it. Basically, literally, the longer the time frame you can stand to stay in, the more money you will make. So once again, around that October beginning time frame, the Infinity Band got above on the 15-minute around the 7th, and that was even lower. That was at 10,800, and basically it's been up. And basically, when it dipped, we saw that it dipped. We saw that we got dollar signs. If you wanted to get in at those dollar signs, you could have, and then rode and ride again. We poked out of the top. We see we poked out of the top, but basically poking out of the top just means it's going to correct some. And basically, as long as it stays above what I call a sweet spot for people who are not on the intermediate level, this is called the sweet spot. So basically, it's like another layer or barrier of support in the probability spectrum. We get our biggest candles and our biggest breakouts when the lines cross in or out of this area. So basically coming in and then coming back out, which means, hey, we're going to get another uptrend. We're not going to correct to the middle. We're going to correct to the sweet spot and then bounce back off. We saw it happen here. We saw it happen here and here. Basically, as long as it can maintain and stay above that sweet spot area, we stay good. We see it break under, then it will either go all the way down, test the next sweet spot, or just stay down, right? So we want to see it stay above the sweet spot for an uptrend to continue. What has me concerned about Bitcoin on this time frame, though, so I'm going to shrink this guy back down, right? He's out of probability on the Apocalypse band. I'm going to bring this guy up and basically use our biggest band, which is the Infinity band, and he's even out of bounds on the Infinity band, right? The only saving grace for this guy at this point is that the Apocalypse line, which is the center line of the Apocalypse band, is not up in that danger zone yet. So I'm not expecting him to stay here. We've seen this happen before a few years ago, where basically it went out and it couldn't sustain it. I'm going to break this down to the arbitrage band so I can go to the weekly time frame. And we see that 33 is out of bounds here, just like that 20,000 over here went out of bounds. I'm expecting Bitcoin to actually pull back from here. So please don't get burned on Bitcoin. Or if you're going to try to play Bitcoin, try to pick it up somewhere around like if we see it pull back, around 23,000 is where I'd probably pick it back up. So that's about a $10,000 haircut. So be mindful, be aware of that, and don't get burned. All right, Ethereum. Ethereum also, I'm expecting a pullback on this guy. Anytime they go out of bounds, even on the weekly, notice that this guy is also out of bounds on the 15-minute infinity. So that means this is like a 3 to 5 day pullback that's coming for us, guys. So make sure that like, for example, you saw it poke out here, and the next literally 3 weeks, it just kind of hovered there, right? So that was basically it correcting. So if you're in it, if you haven't taken profit, take profit. If you want to basically leave some on the table, you can, but just leave as little as you possibly can on the table because there will be a haircut coming. Lock in those profits. All right. So I'm going to go down to Gbp Jpy, and I'm going to go back down to my 15-minute chart because that's typically where I play this guy. We're still set because we're still set at the daily. I'm watching this guy, and he's set to the daily arbitrage band. I'm expecting Gbp Jpy literally being forced to correct because that line on the daily, which we're watching on the 15 with the arbitrage band set to the daily, is running out of space. So that means it has to correct. We see that that's up there. We see that RSI line is also trying to make its way down. So basically, if you're trying to play this guy for a quick turnaround, now might be the time because he's literally ran out of space on the daily, and he will find a way to make it back down to that 73 area. So that's 120 pips if you're willing to take the ride. All right. So now we're looking at this guy. This guy is set to, this is Gbp Aud. We've had quite a nice bottoming out here. So basically, I want to say the latter part of December, almost all December, Gbp Aud has been getting a haircut and trying to figure out if it wants to be up or down. Basically, that's allowed the arbitrage band RSI line on a daily to basically find its way down. And we're trying to see if it will pick itself back up. If you like to play things like, for example, I like to play things a little bit closer to the wire, which means I use the scalp on the daily when I'm using scalp. So basically, I get to see if it's going to do. But at this scale, it's really hard to see. So I'm going to zoom back out and go reset chart so we can see what I'm trying to see here. So basically, we're watching this guy. We want to see it get back above both of those lines to give us an N. So basically, anything above 178, 328 is where we get in. Notice he's underneath. Notice he's underneath. So if we're playing it with the smallest band on the biggest time frame, great. If we're playing the exact opposite of that with the biggest band on the smallest time frame, we get the exact same bit of advice. So we're above that line, and basically he's playing above that line. He's gotten above the yellow center line of the infinity band, and if you've been playing him up since roughly 10 o'clock on the 31st, you may have gotten a Z, but he's still just playing up. He's still just playing up. Let me see. That's the daily. Okay, sorry. Going back down to make sure we stay true to what we're following. So if it's bigger band on smallest time frame or smallest band on larger time frame, make sure you adjust big or small. You pick your poison, but they should always, always, always match up to let you know what you're playing, right? So I'm going to go bring that back down to 1 minute, shrink that guy just a little bit so we can see that, look, right about the same time across the board, it said, yes, you should be playing up, so we should have been playing up, right? So I like confirmations more than anything in the world. I want to see you guys win and win consistently, right? So EA, we're watching this guy. Level has already pulled itself up for the 1 minute chart. It's already saying, yes, I have to go up. I can't go down anymore. Z for the infinity band has not quite made it there. And the infinity band on the 1 minute chart has not made it there yet. And once again, because I locked this guy, he follows me no matter where I go. So that means if I'm even on the 15-minute chart, I get fewer candles, I get the exact same view to make the exact same decisions, right? So we're watching this guy. I am expecting an uptrend from this guy if he can get over that 158.92 to give us some more up in the upcoming week to come. All right, Gbp CAD. Looking at these indicators, it's saying up, it's hugging that line. But because all these guys still say up, I'm expecting GBP, it's just going to go up. GBP CAD, GBP Aud, even I think GBP, let me see, USD has already had a run. I'm not sure if it's going to continue. Because of where it is, it's sitting up here. Actually, no, it's sitting in the sweet spot. So GBP USD may continue making a run for it as well. Good things are going to come from Brexit. Make sure you don't miss it. All right, EUR GBP. So that means the euro versus the Great British Pound, because of that Brexit, has been taking a dirt nap since literally the 30th of the month. It broke underneath and fell down, and everything is saying, yeah, we're red, and doesn't look like any type of end is in sight. This guy doesn't move enough to have me watch him, but for those who do play him or basically are doing longer-term trades, you can literally change your scale up if you want to try to play him up at one point. Truthfully, at this point, I would keep setting sell stops for this guy and play him accordingly. All right. Gbp Jpy, once again, we're just up. We saw on there that it was just up. Basically, everyone is sitting right here. Looks like the market just opened. He gave us one red candle real quick to test that yellow line to see if we're going to hold this up. But I think he's going to hold. We will see. We will see. So everything is based on the 1 minute chart on my view here, and infinity band. Like, so I'm using the biggest band on the smallest time frame. So we will see breaking under that yellow line is really important if we want to see any down on them. But holding support basically should keep us with our longer term trend. And so that's when I'm expecting to see us actually continue trending, not a change in trend. Typically, most people lose money when they try to change trend and the trend doesn't change. So stay true, and basically let's all make money. So we're sitting underneath. We're underneath. He's underneath. I see that this band is bending. I'm not saying that Jpy is going up. I want to see if he can make it to the 126.45 area, but even making it there, because of how deep he is down here in Z, I wouldn't expect it to break over that line at 126.45.6. So I'm expecting him to actually bounce off and ricochet off of that guy. I'm expecting the euro to have a whole bunch of bad days in the near future. All right, let's go to Autozone. Autozone. This guy has had about a $15 pullback over the last week. So we were watching this guy, and from the last seminar, somewhere over here, we did get a nice Z on that 1 minute chart to say, okay, that's 12.19, get your money, get out. And basically, if you did, kudos to you. If you're still playing, all is not lost. It should find support around 11.88 and keep on going. He's trying very hard to basically resume his longer term uptrend, right? So on the longer time frame, we have seen this guy just going up. And I'm going to basically turn off my MTZ at this point to be able to show you that, yeah, AutoZone has not been facing any down. Basically, while the economy's been rising, so has AutoZone. So, like, literally, if you got in roughly around here, around 8 something, you're $300 to $400 up, and you should have no complaints. He did have a dollar sign on here, but once again, my apps is still set to that smaller time frame. If I set it to the actual time frame that I'm on, or if I set it to the 15-minute where I normally play, I'm looking for dollar signs there to let me know if it's time to get in. And basically, no, it's saying I have support. I have support. And it even showed you that it had support around 10.98 on the 8th. And basically, we're still just riding up. So don't fret. Don't change directions. Life is still good. And typically, how I've been playing this, or how basically I suggest playing this for best practices, like when I'm using the daily chart, I'm using the 15-minute chart, 15-minute settings on all of my other things as my governor. When I'm using the minute chart, or if I'm using the 15-minute chart, I'm using the minute as all my governors. So that way I get both macro and micro for the time frame that I'm trying to play, to make sure that I'm always winning and don't miss a turnaround based on the amount of time I'm planning to be in the trade, right? So with all these guys set to 15-minute, I'm watching, there were some Z's over here, AMD. I'm expecting AMD to have a bad day in the near future. Basically, we're out of bounds. Him crossing back underneath that 89.90 should begin a very, very harsh sell-off. How harsh? I'm going to say at least mid-60s. So it's going to lose, in my opinion, somewhere in 2021, at least about $30 of its value. I'm not sure why, but hey, they'll tell us why eventually. BCLI. This is one of the ones that we've been watching this on one of Greg's watch lists. I'm wanting to see this guy get back above that 521 area. I do have this guy in my IRA because of this fallout that happened right here. So around 417, we got in, and I'm basically on the 15-minute chart. I am literally just watching around November 19th, still up a little, but I want to see more. So it literally went from one extreme, literally from $13 all the way down to $3 and some change, and decided to pick itself up about 388. I'm in at 417, and I'm just riding. I'm needing it to hold over that 435. Falling beneath that 435, I quit. Game's over. I'll basically take what little profit I made from the 417 to 435 and leave and see if it will give me any more dollar signs to get back in. Macy's. Macy's for you guys playing stock. We're set at the daily time frame. I haven't got any indication that it's time to go as of yet. We are holding the compass. So basically, I needed to hold 1084. I'm trying my best, honestly, to let it get back to 1084 before I buy back in. I did take profit right at about 1163 to be exact. So basically, I wanted to get back down to 1084. I wanted to have a 70-80 cent drop before I put my money back in it. Something that I'm watching this guy because he has gone from like literally $25 all the way down to $4. And I want to see if he's actually at a bottom. I'm currently not in this stock. He has put dollar signs out there around 440-ish, but I'm still not convinced. I want to see it get back above my compass line before I'm in. My level is almost there, and my infinity is almost there on my 15, but until it gets there, not me. Something I am watching like a hawk, guys. This is a penny stock. This is a penny stock that rivals Tesla in its solar power abilities. It is actually 18%. I want to say 18. Yeah, it's either 18 or 13% more effective with its solar cells than Tesla. Basically, it's a very small company, but they're running out of money, and they thought they were going to go bankrupt, but they're pulling themselves out. I personally have about 115,000 shares of these guys sitting at about 0.0037 cents. So basically, I'm loving what it's doing right now. I want to see it. Basically, I want to see somebody buy them. For example, if this guy literally made it to like, I don't know, 80 something cents, I would have no complaints because that means I made 100 grand on about $500 worth of investment. So watching this guy, he's 2 cents. I want to see what happens. He's basically like a lottery ticket play. I'm also watching Jet. Jet is one that I have been watching. Notice he's above. I got in and got out at about 22 something. I see that he's underneath my compass. I want to see him make it back above the compass and momentum line. So I want to see back above 2274 before I actually put more money in. And if he can get there, then basically my price target to get out of him is 2760. All right. I'm also watching Wader Holding. If we go completely back on lockdown again, I'm expecting this guy to basically pick up. He's like an Uber Eats of the market. Right now, I am actually in it because I didn't actually see this happen on the 16th that he went under at around 340 something. So I do have some shares of this. I am underwater a little bit, but I do see that basically I'm watching this guy, looking for Z's, looking for anything to tell me basically this is where I should price average down to be able to continue to win with this stock. If you guys are playing the industrials, like I said a few weeks ago, Caterpillar, quite literally, all he's been doing since November 3rd, literally, he has gained $30 per share. That means, quite literally, he has made about 20% gain since when I said first go buy him. Hope you're still watching. Hope you're still in him. He's still going. He basically did a top out at 183 recently. But as long as he stays above that 178 level, I'm considering this guy to be a good buy. He is out of bound on the infinity band, but if he can get some bigger candles, the bands will expand. And as long as we stay in this sweet spot and bounce off of the sweet spot, I'm expecting nothing but more good stuff from Caterpillar, 3M, International Paper, U.S. Steel. Let me actually go look at FedEx right now, because FedEx has had over a 20% haircut after buying up. They decided to pick up another company, I want to say. But since that announcement, looks like they've just been selling off and everything looks red. So if you're in FedEx, I would not suggest FedEx right now because, once again, everything is red. I'm looking for more dollar signs. I'm looking for something saying that it's going to turn around, but this is not the bottom. So keep looking, keep watching. We'll try to see where that is, and hopefully we see that soon so that way we can make better life choices. Amazon, on the daily, we got some dollar signs on here. Literally took everything I had in Amazon, which basically I've been holding Amazon since it was roughly 2,200. So basically, I made almost 1,000 per share, and I took profit here because I didn't take profit there or there. I was rounding out the year, and I wanted to make sure that my capital gains were in this year, not next year, just in case it took a nosedive. I would rather the capital gains tax than a capital loss. So I'm sitting here, I'm watching this guy. He was close enough to the end of the year. It's like, you know what? Said take my money. I took my money. Both of these guys are still above. He's still in that sweet spot. If I see him make it back above the sweet spot, I will get back in. But so far, that what happened last year happened last year. Airbnb, because I'm watching Airbnb, and he's barely old enough to have candles. So because he's barely old enough to have candles, I'm going to set this guy back down to my 1 minute time frame, so that way I can see what's going on at the micro scale. Right? And looks like we're trying to find support over here. We did have the dollar signs. We did have the Z. So the 15-minute chart is saying, okay, yeah, we should be bottoming out about here. Z is still not where I need it to be. So I'm still not convinced that we're in a good spot just yet. Drop this down to 1 minute as well. He's trying to find support, at least on level, but we're not quite there yet. So I'm watching this guy not back in. I literally rode from this dollar sign all the way up to about 148, I want to say. I'm at the daily time frame. So yeah, so from here, I think I got out at this candle or this candle. One or the other. It gave me like $20 per share in a single day. I was like, okay, I'm good. I'm done. So I'm watching this guy and I want to see what happens. Why CBD? Because of everything that's going on with medicinal marijuana, and basically they're trying to legalize. And this is one of my cannabis stocks that I am playing. I have about 2,000 shares of this guy, and I'm basically watching him to see if he'll stay above that sweet spot. I got him at 258. He announced his earnings, and basically he missed his earnings by 1,500%. He dropped to 258. I picked up 2,000 shares, and I have no complaints so far. I had the ability to get out at 340 something, but I apparently didn't have a sell stop or a limit set at that point. But like I said, still up over 40 cents per share, and I still had 2,000 shares, so I'm still up over $400 on this guy, and I'm just watching. This guy, this was another one of Greg's picks. It literally fell from $28 all the way down to a $4.92. Right? 28 to 492. Like, so it did not have a good end of the year at all. We're watching this guy. We want to see if he picks himself up. I'm hoping that he just makes it. Like I said, I don't even need him to make it back to all the way up to 28. Honestly, I'd be okay if it just made it to 19, because at that point, I've almost made a 300% return on my money, and that would be one really, really good start to 2021. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for joining. You guys have a great rest of the week. Take care.